Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
Authorities have released new details on the attempted murder-suicide in Fargo that left one person dead and another in the hospital. Police say 85-year-old Louis Averson and his wife Isla tried to commit suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning early Saturday morning. When that didn't work, officers say Louis apparently shot his wife in the chest, killing her. He then shot himself, but his injuries were not life-threatening. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley is live at Sanford Hospital in Fargo, where Mr. Averson has been arraigned. Bailey?
Thanks, Andrea. 85-year-old Louis Averson is still here recovering from a self-inflicted gunshot wound here at Sanford. Now, he was set to have an arraignment in his hospital room at 4:15, but we're still waiting on the judge to get here. Court documents say that the gun he used to shoot him and his wife was a .38 caliber revolver. Documents also say in the Aversons' condo was a will and testament from a local law firm, and that was dated on June 1st. Yesterday, Averson was served a warrant for 1 count of murder. Stay tuned with us on Valley News Live at 5:30 and 6. We'll have updates more with you there. Reporting live in Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Bailey, for that live report. A unique situation for sure. And as she mentioned, more tonight on Valley News Live at 9, on Fargo CW, and Valley News Live at 10. Hot today, stormy tonight. Let's check in with Robert to find out when the storms will arrive and how severe they'll get. Robert?
Yeah, right now it is quiet out there with temperatures ranging from the 70s into the 80s and 90s and even a 101 down in Aberdeen. It's 87 right now here in Fargo, 74 up in Baudette. Winds have been gusty out of the southeast. They'll continue as we head through the evening hours, shifting to the northwest. Late tonight, just a few clouds out there, and underneath what few clouds we do have, not a whole lot going on yet. That will develop later on tonight. Here in Fargo, we do stay quiet as we head through this evening. Temperatures dipping on down into the upper 70s through the 8 and 9 o'clock hour. It's later on tonight and into the wee hours of Wednesday morning where we have that risk for some strong and severe storms. The best chance in the slight risk area in the yellow, marginal risk, lesser chances in the dark green. Those risks include some damaging wind, damaging hails. Tornado risk rather low, but can't rule out an isolated tornado, particularly in the first couple of hours. The timing on that looks like after dark, and we'll have more details on the timing and when to expect it in your neighborhood coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Robert. 2 people are in jail after leading police on a chase through several counties this morning. It all started around 1:30 a.m. after a driver fled a traffic stop near Grandin in Cass County. A bloodhound helped deputies find the vehicle in a farm field, and they caught one man who ran from the area. Daryl St. Clair was arrested for drug paraphernalia, fleeing an officer, and reckless endangerment. Authorities now have the second suspect in custody, Michael Lewis. Both were injured but are expected to be okay. The Fargo Police Department is asking you to be cautious about allowing strangers into your home to use the bathroom. They shared a post on their Facebook page from Bismarck Police, who say they have received reports of a woman going to real estate open houses and garage sales, asking to use the bathroom. They believe that she looks for and takes medication from these homes. If you or anyone you know is planning an open house, here are some safety measures to consider. Remove all prescription drugs and medication from any medicine cabinets and other places where drugs and medication may be stored. If you're having a garage sale, restrict access to your house, lock doors and windows, and close the curtains. Don't allow strangers to enter to try on clothes or use the restroom. Lastly, close your garage door and host the sale on your driveway or lawn. Before you bring your kids to the playground, there's something you need to know. Playground equipment, like slides, can get hot, maybe even 140 degrees in the summer months. In fact, in Kansas City, a toddler on a playground ended up with second-degree burns. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer digs into what a lot of us might consider an unusual hazard for kids.
Jessica Carter has 2 kids, and she says they love to go to the playground during these hot summer days. But she's learned a lesson, one she wants to share.
Check the equipment first, and if it's too hot, then have your kids stay off of it.
But not everyone is like Jessica. We found a study that says slides like this one can get up to 150 degrees.
That equipment can actually absorb the heat rather quickly, so whatever side the sun is shining on, making sure to check all of that.
Elizabeth Ostrich works with Sanford Health, and she says to avoid any burns or injuries, to always test the playground equipment before your kids get on it.
Adults' hands are pretty tough and used to things, so maybe just using like the inside of your arm to feel the temperature of it.
And she tells us she recommends to stay away from older playground equipment with metal. But Joel Vettel with Fargo Park says if you're on one of the city's playgrounds, you don't have to worry about that.
In our entire inventory, we do not have any types of metal slides or anything along that line.
And some research says even if it's not metal, it can still get hot. So experts say the best advice they can give before you hop on a swing is check it out. In Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
By the way, the latest study we could find says when the playground equipment is in the shade, it can make a huge temperature difference. A vacant house in Fargo that some say posed a threat has been demolished. The home was on the 1400 block of First Avenue South. People tell us the house was drawing unwanted attention to the area. Those who took down the house say the community is safer now that it's gone.
It's important because the structure was unsafe. It's also important because an empty structure like that invites some after-hours activity, maybe kids having a beer or smoking dope or whatever it is they're going to do. An empty structure attracts attention. It always does.
Simmons says anytime you can take something down that is a danger to the general public, it's a good thing. Where to vote or where you cannot vote is causing some controversy in Grand Forks. The City Council is wrestling with the same issue the state Supreme Court is examining, whether cities can limit the number of polling locations. Valley News Team's Ryan Laughlin has more on what some are calling voter suppression.
80 places we can get a drink, and we want to narrow voting to one place. It kind of shows what we value in this community.
CT Marhula is making a point about the contentious decision to only allow one voting location when about a year ago, voters narrowly decided on this. Destroying Arbor Park to make way for a condo complex.
We all don't have 2 or 3 SUVs at home. We all don't make $60,000 to $300,000 a year. We all can't take off anytime we want from work.
He says it was the first time the city only used one polling location and sees it as voter suppression. He took his argument all the way to the state Supreme Court. Still waiting for a ruling, City Council tackled the issue last night.
In my personal opinion, I think the more voting locations we can have, the better.
Councilmember Danny Weigel says, however, it can be challenging to get enough people to staff these polling sites.
I voted in favor of having one polling location for both of those votes, and part of that was for Arbor Park and then the city's sales taxes, keep it consistent.
The Alara Center was the only voting location. Now it's a wait-and-see game.
My big thing is let's wait to see what the state Supreme Court says.
And if their vote is suppressed, it just lessens the connection between any government and the governed. And I think that is so serious that it shouldn't even be discussed.
Some minds already made up. Grand Forks, Ryan Laughlin, Valley News Live.
This will not affect next week's primary elections. The fighting has been over whether cities can limit voting locations for city issues. The state Supreme Court has not yet ruled if the city violated the law by only opening one polling location. To find out where you can vote in next week's elections, we have included a link on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. Summer fun is starting at West Acres this week. The theater has a new kids' summer series to help you keep your kids entertained. Story Squad involves reading books once a week by a special guest from the community, and kids will get to take home a free book. The series also includes art classes, discounted kids' movies, and more. West Acres says it wants all families to be able to use their location as a one-stop shop for summer fun.
It's nice to have it all in one place so that you're not having to trek kids here, there, and everywhere, especially if you're a working parent and you have a nanny. You just feel more comfortable that they're in one place. There's so many different things to do, and you don't have to hear, "I'm bored" all the time.
For a list of all the events happening for the Kids Summer Series, go to valleynewslive.com and click on our Hot button. Those plastic bags that most stores use for the stuff you buy that often end up as litter are a problem in the FM metro area. At least some folks believe they are, and they'd like to do something about it. And so today, by mayoral proclamation, is the day without plastic bags. It is not about banning them, as some communities have done. It's about encouraging us to take a look at alternatives when we haul our groceries and other items from our shopping excursions home.
I think it's more just about taking personal action, just deciding, hey, I am going to go out of my way to use these reusable bags instead of the plastic bags. And the plastic bags that I do use, I'm going to recycle them.
Moorhead's mayor says only about 5% of plastic bags in use are recycled.